There we go. What's the point of having multiple? Well, this is a good example. This one here, that's a good example. Like the Sotar, that's actually a good question. Let's make a video out of this, my guy. Just film a video real quick. Let's put my big fat face on there. Oh, that's one huge. Alright, so guys, just a quick video here because our friend Underground Hobby is asking a good question. He says, what's the point of owning multiple airbrushes? And the obvious first answer is because I'm fancy. But really, there's a lot of purposes. First of all, like there's three. I think you should own 3 airbrushes real quick. Or at least 2. That's not true. Two is a good number. If you intend to do primer, 3 is the answer. So, what 3 airbrushes and what's the point of having multiple? First of all, they're not all created equal, and so much like paint brushes or paint brands or whatever, they each do something very specific. So that's why you could use a bunch. Now, the one that you should own is something like this. It's this one here is like a generic one. You can see it had thinner in there, but that's okay. So a generic kind of thing. It can be, we talked about the Patriot 105. There's a review somewhere. It's a good one. The Iwata HPCS Plus is great at this. There's one Arthur and Steinbeck that I forget the name of. That's like, this is kind of your bread and butter. This one does 90% of whatever I do. 90% of everything. Base codes, base highlight, you know, all the general stuff like bases, all that you want to do. This is like your main guy. I like the cheap ones. I buy many. You know, like a Badger is like a roughly $100. I can get 3 for $30 of this. 3 cheapo airbrushes versus 1 Patriot 105. That's kind of a good deal. We talk about this other videos as well. But so you need one, just an all-purpose guy. You can get a good one. That's fine. It's gonna be your main one. You know. The one that you wife, you know, the main thing. And then the second one that you probably want is if you do primer, and then you need one for primer only. What I like for that is a spray gun. It costs nothing. I don't have one like here, but I own like multiple. A spray gun is like, it's like this on simple mode. It does one thing and it sprays. You press the button and it sprays. So that's great for, as I said, primer or base coats. Like if you do terrain and stuff, you want a spray gun. You don't want an airbrush, you don't need one, you want a spray gun. It holds a lot more paint because the case is usually bigger, and it does one thing. You press the button and the paint goes out. It is simple, it is easier to use, it does not clog as much, so it's perfect for primer, it's perfect for these big base coats, and it costs next to nothing. Like it's $40 that you're never buying again. Like, you have one, it will, you know, you'll pass it down to your grandchildren and whatnot. Okay, it's a war machine, those things. So that's a good one if you do primer. And then the other one that I like personally is this one here, is the Sotar 2020. Now the Sotar 2020 is kind of the good second, or in the case of this video, third airbrush, because this is a very pricey and fancy thingy, and it does not do a lot of things. The first thing that you'll notice is the cup size, right? Look at this. This guy does not hold paint. So if I'm trying to do like even a unit and the base coat of the unit, this one sucks. Okay, first of all, the spray is like too small, so that it's gonna take me like multiple passes to do like a single Space Marine. And second of all, I'm gonna have to refill this thing 3-4 times. So this is not great at like a lot of things. But for details and for highlights, like what we're about to do on stream now, that thing is money, is so good. This one here this one here is like kind of pricey. But you know, if you know, airbrush overall is kind of a pricey game, and then once you have like your first one and your compressor and stuff, then it doesn't cost too much because you already have like the basics. So then whenever you get like these ones are often on sale on Amazon, and if you follow like Badger on like social media, they do sales a lot of times. So I like buying them on sale, especially like the Badgers. I don't think I've ever paid one full price. Full disclosure, I don't think I've ever paid one full price. And then obviously I like the simplicity of these things. So changing needles is kind of a pain in the butt for no reason. Like especially these ones, like if you get like your main thing, changing needles all the time is like not great, because first of all, you don't want that. Like, you don't want extra trouble. You want simplicity. That's why you get an airbrush for most of the things. So having to change the needle, first of all, it's not that useful for the same reason. Like this one, you can go, oh, like you can have a bigger nozzle. Well, it's kind of the same thing. First of all, the cup size it still blocks you, and second of all, you don't want to use this all the time because this is pricey. Like, I don't want to use this 90% of the time because I don't want to break it, because it does the finer things. This one does not do the finer things. This one, it can take a beating. It will take a beating, right? So I like to have the one that does like a general job, and then I like to have the one that is like fancy. The fancy one you can probably live without. I've used this and only this for years. And then the spray gun, I think, is the one that like everybody. The spray gun is just so good. It's the most underused one because nobody talks about this, and it takes a lot of flack. Like, oh, it's such a dumb thing. Yes, it's dumb thing for dumb jobs. Like, you don't need any skill to prime stuff. You don't need any skill or complexity to base coat buildings in brown or gray or whatever. Like your walls. If you're doing boarding action right now, get yourself a spray gun. It will change your life for $40. And that's kind of where it is. There's going to be links to everything that I just said under this video. You need one main workhorse type thing. Probably you want one spray gun that will help you with those starting projects or big projects. And then once you get like accustomed to all this airbrushing business and then you've used it for a while, get yourself a fancy one. I use the Sotar, but there's a couple of like other fancy ones. But get you one workhorse, and then that guy, it takes a beating and it's fine. Okay, but you have to be okay. I don't want this to take a beating. This is my fancy guy. Fancy guy, fancy jobs. Workhorse guy, all the jobs.